What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Batman and Robin, issue number 27. This one is, of course, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the artwork is done by Fico Ossio. And this is The Quiet Man, Part 3. So at the end of the last issue, we kind of learned things that The Quiet Man seems to be after the ventriloquist, but he was going after Penguin, Two-Face, and anyone who gets in his way to get access to it because of something that happened to his boy in the past. And what I like, too, with The Quiet Man so far is he's not going for anything unnecessary, like to get his revenge. He just wants one thing, to take care of like Scarface / ventriloquist and just kind of be done with his day. There's even a moment during the scuffle where Damian becomes kind of trapped under some sort of rubble and all that too, and he still kind of like pulls him out of it, like he drags him out of it. He's like, you shouldn't be here, kid. Let your dad dig his own grave, and kind of goes off on his way. So like, while Damian goes to help Batman during the chaos and all that too. So I like that there's nuances with this character. Like, he doesn't want to harm anybody else. He just wants his revenge on, ventriloquist / Scarface, and then just kind of be on his way. Like, anyone else just kind of gets in the way. It's not what matters. He's like, just give me what I want, and then I'll be out of your hair kind of way. Like, he's a man focused on like his own form of revenge, but he's kind of hurting all that other stuff too. And it's going to probably tie into stuff with like what Bruce is going through in this issue, with him struggling to kind of be a single dad, because so much of what happened in the past was relied on Alfred. And we also get the reunion of the Super Sons. So Batman knows that where Arnold Wesker is. He's keeping him kind of safe outside of it. Like, he had a little bit of a breakdown, and basically, with Wesker kind of where he's at, he's just doing that to keep an eye on him. Like, he deserves a life outside of Arkham without having the mental stuff with Scarface in his head. So Damian and Bruce head back to the cave. He kind of lets him know that, Chase Meridian's around and kind of looking after him. And he also has someone named Simone Blair looking after Wesker. And he's like, we're just trying to protect him right now because, like I said, he mentally wasn't in the right state, and he wants to help him. So the compassionate sides of Batman are there too. We see Damian there. He still has his pet monkey, which is pretty cool, carrying over from some of the previous stuff with Memento. Damian asks his dad, hey, what about this? Don't we have to do some weighted cardio drills or something in a few minutes? It's like, nah, we gotta like do some interview stuff for like Sacred Heart Hospital. It's not exactly cheap right now, and we have to do interviews with the press, but I think we should be interviewed by these people. And it's none other than Clark Kent and Jonathan Kent. And so we get a reunion of the Super Sons. It's never going to feel right with aged up John, but I think Philip Kennedy Johnson makes the most of kind of what he's given. He makes these moments feel real. He makes them feel wholesome. And it's just kind of nice to see the Super Sons back interacting again. Even like there's moments where like they mentioned that Damian had missed John. We also kind of learned that John's been keeping an eye on him from a distance, talking like, hey, you want to go get some mojos or something? It's like, wait, have you been keeping an eye on me? Like, yeah, maybe just a little bit. So, but they're still like best friends. They missed one another, even though like John looks like a full-blown adult and Damian still kind of looks like a kid. But he's like, hey, you're getting taller and all that too. So, but it's never going to quite be the same as it was before. So, and they're also in a bit of a different place as well. So we also at the Iceberg Lounge catch up with Two-Face and Penguin, and they receive a letter kind of giving a location of where ventriloquist is. Now, we don't know who wrote this letter or where it's coming from. I don't think it's going to be Meridian or that Simone Blair character. So it's going to be somebody else. So somebody knows what's going on, or maybe they're kind of pushing forward something, but I'm sure we'll figure that out as the issue goes on. So then we have Damian with the street kids in Gotham. What were they? The Gotham Irregulars, I think, might have been the name. I could be off, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But yeah, so they have burritos together. They kind of have some fun little banter about like who'd win in a fight. And Damian's like, of course me. Well, I have contingency plans against all this other stuff, and yada yada yada. So, and then of course John is there like, hey, wouldn't you guys want a home or something, like a real one? He's like, no, the cities are home, and we kind of like our freedom, and like we're associated with Batman, so people kind of keep their distance from us. So there's some nice, like I said, real down-to-earth moments between them. And then some of my favorite stuff in the entire issue is at Pennyworth Manor right there. That's right, Pennyworth Manor, not Wayne Manor, which hopefully they do eventually get back to Wayne Manor and get Vandal Savage out of the GCPD. And I know, like, people can get tired of the status quo, but we haven't had like, classic Jim Gordon, head of commissioner, and, at the Batcave and all that. Like, it just feels like strange. Like, I mean, they're adapting and all that, with Alfred gone and that, and they're doing better than where they were a few years ago, but it still feels kind of empty a little bit too. So, But anyways, there's a nice conversation between Bruce and Clark right here, where Bruce talks about, I owe Damien a better life and all this. He talks about how he always fears that Roz is kind of manipulating things beyond the grave with this whole chessboard, and even Clark Hart's like, oh, you still got it set up and all that too. But he's like, look, I owe Damien a better life, not just as my partner, but as my son, and with more friends, and just be a real father. Is like, with Alfred gone and everything like that, like, I know he wants to be Robin, but he deserves a better life than this. And with Alfred gone, I just don't know how to really do this. How do you do it, Clark? So, like, him going to Clark for advice is really nice. And I also like, too, that, you have Philip Kennedy Johnson who really does understand Damien's character quite well. He's different from the others in his own way. Like, he's smart. He's, like, he got, like, some thick skin and all that. But when something goes wrong, he takes it the hardest out of everyone. Like, he tries to hide that from everyone else. But it's hard for him to kind of accept, like, when something goes wrong, more so than the others in a way. So, but Clark kind of was like, hey, you know what? We're doing everything we can. And, hey, let's go take a look at the kids and all that too. So I like the conversation between Bruce and Clark. That's the aspect that might be my favorite aspect of the issue. And, it's nice to get a Super Sons reunion. Although, given where John's at, it's never going to quite feel the same as well. So, but he talks about how special it is being Robin. It's like, hey, it's not every day that every kid gets to hang out with Superman. It's like, hey, well, I mean, they're already hanging out with Robin. That's pretty cool. So I like that stuff. Very genuine. And then Bruce and Clark looking out for the two of them. And Clark kind of reassures, like, hey, like, you're the most qualified to kind of look after him. You are his father, even more so than someone like Alfred, which some people may take as a shot at Alfred. I mean, it's not dogging it, but, like, Bruce has to understand that, like, he has the full capabilities to do the job arguably better than anyone, because he understands his own son more than anyone in some ways. So, like, he struggles with that aspect, but Clark's reassurance, I think, is kind of what he needed. And then at the end of the issue, like, Penguin and Two-Face and all that finds Arnold Wesker, who doesn't really recognize them. So it's setting the stage for that. So where did the letter come from? How did that all unfold? I guess we'll have to find out within the pages of the next issue. But overall consensus, like I said, it's a really nice moment to get the Super Sons reunion in this thing, and just Bruce going to Clark for parental advice, I think, is really good stuff. And, like, his struggles without Alfred are on full display here. Because, like I said, when Damien kind of showed up, like, there's moments where Bruce is a parent, but oftentimes he would just kind of rely on Alfred to do things. And ever since the characters kind of became reunited at the start of what Williamson was doing, Bruce has to learn to really be a parent kind of on his own. Like, he can't rely on Alfred to do the more mundane tasks or the everyday life stuff. Like, he actually has to kind of step up. And I like that aspect. That's the stuff that really gives this book its strength. So character work is really good here. I'm liking the stuff with the Quiet Man, especially kind of the nuances where he, even after everything, he, like, still saved Damien. Is like, you don't belong here, kid. I just want revenge on, the ventriloquist and all that. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of ties into Bruce's, like, parenting struggles and the Quiet Man's, and how this all gets resolved in some way, shape, or form. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. So if you get the chance to, be sure to check this book out. It's really solid stuff. Philip Kennedy Johnson knows what he's doing. And yeah, so that'll be it in terms of this thing. I got a few other books I'm going to be covering today, but I just want to get Batman and Robin done because, well, it's the first on my list. So, but anyways, what did you all think of the issue? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all of the fun stuff. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.